He gonna start anytime soon?
Oh, me? I thought you were doing it. That's right. I can do it.
Oh, fuck!
Because
Right.
when you said...
It's your show!
It's our show, man. When you said, oh, if I'm doing it, I better do a countdown. I'm like, oh, so you're going to host. You meant editing.
No, I meant... Yeah.
Anyway, fuck it. That'll do. We're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome to 2020.
Yeah, that's the intro!
Good way to start the decade. I love it. With confusion. Anyway, so today, Count, we're shooting the shit. We kind of came in unprepared. Yeah. This is I don't know about you, Count, but it's hard to get back into the swing of things when you take a break off. Like, motivation's always low because there's always a beer to be drunk. There's always nothing to be done, and when you say, fuck it, let's record something, let's edit something, it's hard to get back into it. So kudos to us for being here, I guess. We probably should have done it a couple of weeks ago, but whatever. We've had a nice little break.
Yeah, probably should have done.
Yeah, but, I mean, going forward, once a week. That's what we always aim for. Hopefully we'll get some more variety on. Maybe a Sarah, maybe a Mark, so keep your ears peeled for them. So again, going forward, we'll hopefully aim to hit Thursdays or Fridays once a week. So maybe not next week, though, because I'm on holidays again. Anyway, Count. It's been a while since we last spoke. I think it was probably mid-December we last recorded something together. So I know you've got your Pokemon meetup gym battle thing to go to in about an hour, but maybe tell us what that's about and tell us what you've been doing.
Yes. Okay. Let's do that. Right. So, yes, this record is going to be finished when I need to go to an X-raid in Pokemon Go. Those of you who don't know what X-raids are, if so many people battle on a gym in Pokemon Go or do raids on a gym on Pokemon Go in a week, then it triggers an X-raid. Everyone who did one of those raids gets an X-Pass for a particular time and place, and you get special Pokemon. The special Pokemon at the moment is Regigigas. I missed the last one because I had work. However, I don't have work today, so I can go to this one. Hooray!
Yes. Very informative.
Yes. What else have I been doing? I was on holiday the week before last. Went to see family. It's very nice. I finally got The Binding of Isaac on Switch, and I've been playing a lot of that because it's a very good game, and I wanted it on Switch. It's more expensive than I want to pay for it, like the full thing on Switch, considering I've already paid, all the money for it on PC. But I finally got a physical version for a decent amount, and then I found out yesterday that it's gone on sale for about £7 less than I paid for it.
Oh, digital or
digitally?
Oh, that's a kick in the teeth. That's the thing with Switch games, though. Switch games, no matter how old they are, when they get a physical cartridge release, they're always full retail price, almost. Which is kind of annoying. I mean, it's kind of like, but they seem to know people will pay for it because it's the Switch and it's portable. Yeah. Like it's kind of like this weird breath of fresh life, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to pay full price if you missed it?" Because I've been looking at The Witcher 3. I've been really wanting to get into The Witcher 3, which we'll probably talk about because I've just watched the Witcher series on Netflix. And I, as you know, I can't do it because I'm not near my PC enough every week to really kind of get stuck into an RPG. I'm near it like maybe 2 or 3 times a week. So the Switch is like my only option, but it's damn expensive. It's expensive, man. So it's kind of been holding me back because I know it's going to be the weakest of all the versions, and I'm going to be paying top dollar for it.
It's basically magic that they got that port on there, from what I've heard. Annoyingly for you as well, the Game of the Year edition on PC has gone on sale for 70% off in the Steam Lunar sale.
Dude, they did that so well though because they lined that up right with The Witcher dropping as well.
That lined up quite nicely in the end, yeah.
I also heard that the books as well, they sold out everywhere, and they've had to like massively jack up printing on the books because people are just gobbling them up now.
Yeah. I know for the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks, it's been in the top sellers of audiobooks on Audible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, let's put this on the back for a second because we're going to talk about Witcher because there's probably a lot to talk about. But Count, have you been doing anything else other than catching up with family?
No, I've had work, and I've got Perfect Shop, which is like our little review of how good our shop is.
Okay.
And because I've just been made manager of that shop, it needs to be perfect.
Yep. It's like a performance review.
And yeah, pretty much, and it's just distressing.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's been a bit all-consuming, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've done anything. I went to the bi-weekly quiz night last night, and we did very badly.
Is that at?
There's a losers round.
Is that at like a pub or something, like a local pub or tavern?
It's at a board game cafe.
Oh, that sounds good.
It is good. It's called Big Gay Dan's Big Geeky Quiz. It's great.
Did you say Big Gay
It's
Dance?
hosted by Big Gay Dan's Big Geeky Quiz. It's hosted by a very large gay man called Dan with a very big voice. It's great. He dressed as Ursula for Halloween from The Little Mermaid, and it was an amazing costume.
That's good. I love it.
But yeah, there's a losers round every week for like the people who lost last time get to choose a round for next time. And this week it was RuPaul's Drag Race. And we got 0 in that round.
Oh. Wow.
Because none of us watched that. One of our team members tried to look at the Wikipedia article and just got so bored that they stopped.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
so
can't win
not great. We were very mid card that time.
Yep. Very good.
That's good stuff though. If you're ever in the Shrewsbury area on the second and fourth Sundays in a month, Thursdays, sorry, then you can come to the quiz.
You're probably going to get someone roll up now. Let's say, guy. There'll be one.
Why would I get someone robbed? Go to a quiz night in Shrewsbury.
No, not robbed. Roll up. Sorry.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? Fuck it. Go say hello.
I was recommended by a random YouTube channel.
Yeah, we've got a couple of card game nights and board nights around here as well. At a franchise called Game Traders, which is unfortunately they're shutting all over the place because apparently brick and mortar stores aren't really much of a thing anymore. Even GameStop's going under, which is disappointing. But yeah, times are changing. Anyway, I guess I'll quickly share what I've been up to. Christmas, bleh, just a big fat blurry mess, and quite frankly, not that enjoyable if I'm being honest. Like I've got nothing against Christmas. I'm a relatively cheery person, even at work during the Christmas period. Like, I mean, we all know what the retail work Christmas period is like. It could crush a soul if a weaker soul could be crushed. But, got through that fine. But once I get to Christmas Day, it was like I just finished 11 days straight at work. I think I calculated that I'd done 104 hours over that fortnight period. And I was just, when you've really gone flat out, and you're okay as long as you get up, get going, and you keep moving. But when you finally stop, that's when it hits you.
And you're just like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, so kind of got up early-ish Christmas morning and didn't get going, and I just got hit by a bus, and honestly I was just wiped out all day. So that was my Christmas. It feels so forced, Christmas. I don't know, it's like everybody's got to get together and do stuff, and it's so like routine and ritual that I'm not sure how many people actually enjoy it. Boxing Day, do you have like a Boxing Day equivalent in the UK count?
We have Boxing Day.
You do have Boxing Day? Okay.
Yeah, cool. It's only Americans that don't do that.
Okay. I love Boxing Day. I think it's great. Another day off, you recharge.
I like Boxing Day because it's like, oh yeah, Christmas.
Yeah,
but less intense.
And it's like you get to enjoy. If you got Christmas presents, you kind of get to sit down and enjoy them because you got a second day off. Like you can't do it
rather than having to.
So
yeah, you're either catching up with family or eating ridiculous amounts of food.
It's kind of like the recovery day, and you get a nice sleep in. So Boxing Day was amazing. Loved it. I got Mario Maker Christmas, so I played a lot of Mario Maker 2 on Boxing Day. And went down to a nice little brewery, kind of in our one of our wine districts over here near McLaren Vale.
You've just reminded me that we've got a brewery tour that we've been given that I need to book at some point. Shit, when does that expire?
I'll be there.
We've got until April. Oh, that's all
right.
You'll be right.
I'll remind you at the start of April, that brewery tour. Brewery tours are great. I love a good brewery tour.
This brewery is 61 deep.
Mm.
Oh no, Marston's Brewery.
Okay.
So
all craft beers.
That's.
I'm assuming.
I think they are. I think
so.
they're craft beers.
Yeah, that's what you want. None of this mass-produced crap. No mass-produced lagers. Boo.
To be fair, I'm not really a beer drinker anyway. I'm a cider drinker. It's Hillary that drinks the beer.
So are you, like, if you were to drink a beer, do you like something relatively mild or kind of yeasty or hoppy? Like, which direction would you go?
I don't know what hoppy means in terms of taste.
So,
like, I keep hearing it said, and I'm like, I don't actually know what that means.
Okay, so a hoppy taste is a relatively sharp. It can be bitter, but it's very punchy, very, very like sharp on the taste buds, and I would associate it with a bitter flavor, but don't let that put you off it, because I know bitter can seem like gross, but when you accompany that bitter with the actual hop flavor coming through itself, like for example, I'm drinking a Indian Pale Ale, which is really hoppy, and it's got like a more of a citrusy kind of hop, so it's bitter but fruity at the same time, which is my kind of beer, which is what I love. I love hoppy beer.
I think I know what you mean now. Okay. I've had some IPAs before.
Yes, so that's a hoppy flavor. A yeasty flavor, think more. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do.
Yeast infection.
Think more yeast infection. I personally don't like them. It's more in line, like a lot
Nobody likes a yeast infection.
Yeah, a lot of the times they'll use like a champagne brewer's yeast in a lot of yeastier beers. The style that I'm thinking of, there's I can't remember how to pronounce it. It's a W. It's like a Weiser or something like that, or Weiser. Not a fan anyway. But you sound like you're probably more of an IPA guy. Or a lager. Or a session ale. We'll never know. Just take note of the beers when you go.
Yeah, I mean, I just prefer cider.
Yeah.
I find it more interesting to drink.
When I went over there, the cider is huge over there. It's absolutely huge. Like, everybody drinks cider. And I got nothing against cider. I mean, it's not my first cup of tea. It's a bit sweet.
Well, no, it's cider. It's not tea.
Yeah, it's kind of...
I'm so funny.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you cut it out, because I'm sure that was a shit joke.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's enough talk about...
Of course it was a shit joke. It was me.
It's enough talk about alcohol. What else have I been up to? Mario Maker, you've probably seen we've been doing a lot of Game Boy stuff. That's been a lot of fun.
Yes, I love the Game Boy stuff. Talk about the Game Boy stuff.
Okay. We actually just sold them yesterday, actually. So, long story short, if you're not in the Discord... highly recommend you come check out our Discord, because there's some really cool stuff that happens in there. A lot of creative people throwing stuff around. Highly recommend you check it out. It's in description box if you do want to join up. But the Game Boy stuff count. Basically, you know that I've been tinkering with Game Boys for like the better part of 2 years now, kind of doing the whole refurbishing stuff, and I just love it. Like, I've got like 30 in my collection now, and I've flipped a few in the past. But Kelsey and I kind of wanted to kind of get a hobby together. So I thought, well, why don't we just kind of do this kind of Game Boy thing? So we went and bought like a whole bunch of art pens and art supplies, and the brand is Posca. That's the brand of the pens that we use, which it's essentially acrylic paint that you apply via a texture tip, basically. So yeah, quite
I like that.
interesting medium, very different. Because it really is like paint. It's not like a texture. Like, you don't just put it on and it dries instantly. You can like kind of pump it out and everything. You got to spread it around with the tip. So it really is like painting. But essentially, I've been doing the refurb stuff on Game Boys that we buy from Japan. And she's been running with the whole artwork and basically penning Game Boy shells.
Nice.
And as you see, they've kind of come up pretty cool, I think. Massive learning curve with these pens, though. If you ever want to use Posca pens on anything untraditional like a Game Boy shell surface, do some deep research, because they really are affected by temperature, like humidity. There's a whole range of things. Like, you need to make sure you've got the right primers and all that kind of stuff, clear coats, everything like that. Make sure you do your research, because we did a whole bunch of test shells, and like it cracks really easy. Like, Posca work and the paint can actually crack. So it's been a big learning curve, but we're really happy with kind of what we've managed to pull off. And for anyone that's been paid attention, I'm sorry for draining your ear off because you already know, but we did list them on eBay just to kind of see if people would be interested in paying some money for them. And yeah, surprisingly enough, with mixed results, the Studio Ghibli one that we did, which was, I don't know what the character's called, but the Cat Bus. I'm assuming you've seen the Cat Bus one.
Yeah.
It's just a Game Boy Pocket that was refurbed with the Cat Bus on it, and we got $100 for it. So
Nice.
that's some insane value for a Game Boy Pocket, which usually in good condition will go for about 40 AUD on eBay, roughly thereabouts. So yeah, that's been...
Apparently the Cat Bus doesn't have a name, it's just called the Cat Bus.
Okay, there we go. Nailed it. So, yeah, that's kind of been our Game Boy dabblings. Have you got any questions, Kat?
Yes, when are you going to make the one that I've asked you to make?
We're actually going to do that on the other side of Bali. So that's why we were so busy. We had to skip last week because we had these family commitments, and we really wanted to make sure we squared away this batch, like the kind of test batch I would call it, and kind of cut our teeth on eBay, get it all shipped and listed and all that kind of stuff. So yours is at the top of the list for when we return, and we've worked out all the painting kinks and all the clear coat kinks. So yeah, I think you're going to get something really nice. So it should be good.
Dank.
Yes. Yeah, and we're hoping though, we're really hoping that we can kind of turn this into a bit of like a hobby / bit of income. So that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we'll see how we go. But it seems like people, I mean, you and I both know that the Game Boy aftermarket is, people want stuff. So it's a pretty popular market and people like custom stuff. So yeah.
I told my friend about it at the quiz last night. She was like, "Oh, who still plays Game Boys?" And I just put my hand up. I was like, "Me.
Yeah.
I've ordered one."
My God, many people. And you slapped her with a Game Boy. Anyway. One last little teeny weeny plug. We are doing a giveaway on our Instagram. If you want to follow our Instagram, it's at Yesterday's Tech. And you can find that on Facebook, and that handle will basically apply on eBay as well if you want to look at the store. And you can find our eBay link on Instagram too. But the giveaway is actually, have you seen it, Count? The Bowser shell?
I have seen it. I love the Bowser shell.
Yeah, so
it's really nice.
Yeah, it's really good. And this is like, we really wanted to learn from that first batch and make sure that, all right, now we know what we're doing. And I think it shows in the shell 110% because it looks fucking schmicko.
It looks what, sorry?
Fucking schmicko.
Schmiggo. I have never heard that expression in my life.
Looks swish.
Okay,
yep.
I've heard that.
Okay.
Yeah.
100%, top notch, 100%. It looks really good. But it's a DMG shell, so the original Game Boy. It's going to have all its internals as well. So it's going to be a complete, playable, Bowser-themed original Game Boy, and we're giving that away on our Instagram. And by the time this goes up, all the details will be on our Instagram regarding the giveaway. So you just got to go check it out and follow the instructions if that's your thing and you're interested in that. Yeah. And then we'll do yours, Count, when we're back from Bali.
Cool.
So yeah, well, that's what I've been doing, man. We're done.
That's what we've been doing. That's why we've not been making videos.
Hey, you got to mix it up. So, Count, let's talk The Witcher.
Yes, let's talk The Witcher, because I was talking to someone yesterday and they were like, "Oh, I really hated the ending. It ruined it for me entirely." And I was like, all right. I thought it was quite good, but whatever.
Like anticlimactic, or?
Yeah, they wanted a bit more. They wanted it more than that.
Okay.
And I was like, I thought it ended at the right sort of moment then, because that's where the series led up to. That was a nice sort of rounded end point for it.
Yeah, it was like a nice little cliffhanger, like the baddies are pushing in.
See, for me as well, that would be a nice rounded end point. Like if you never had another series, like if they hadn't greenlit another series, you could have ended it at that, and you'd still be like, yeah, okay, I can sort of, I'd be. It doesn't leave so many open-ended threads that you're like, oh, well, that was stupid.
No, I enjoyed the ending. I mean, I enjoyed it knowing that there's going to be a lot more. So,
Yeah,
You know, like
I enjoy.
do you
There's
want them to,
going to
like,
be at
round
least
everything off?
another series.
Oh, I think I think Netflix already committed to 2.
They might
And
have done.
yeah, I heard they ordered 2, and they have apparently. I mean, they've been talking a lot about how they want this to be a long-running show. The creators. Yes.
The Witcher soundtrack comes to digital music services tomorrow,
Oh,
which means you can
nice.
finally buy that fucking song.
Toss a coin to your Witcher.
Did
you see
literally
the movie as well?
Every other day that song gets stuck in my head.
Oh yeah, 100%, definitely.
It's madness. Yes, I have seen that they've announced an anime series as well, which I am also looking forward to.
It's red hot at the moment. A lot of comparisons with Game of Thrones. That's going to happen though, I guess, when you're in the fantasy genre. You're the first.
Yeah, I mean it's
big fantasy to come along since Game of Thrones.
I'd say it's very different tonally, and the world that it's portraying is pretty different, but broad strokes, yeah, it's kind of similar.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of view Game of Thrones as being like typical fantasy world, and I know George R. R. Martin would slap me in the face for that, but I think the difference with The Witcher is it's very dark fantasy. It's not afraid to go there. And they like reveling in like the gritty side of fantasy. Which I love.
Yeah.
Like monsters, and it's very heavy. You got to be paying attention. Yeah, I loved it though. Overall, I loved it. I don't agree with whatever that person said about the ending. I think the ending was perfectly adequate and really good.
I'd say the standout moment for me was the fight with the Striga.
Oh, that was good.
Oh,
yeah, I think
that was my favourite bit. It was so good.
That the girl that transformed, right?
Yeah,
and he gets bit on the neck at the end, and you're like, oh shit. Yeah, that was really cool, really dark. Yeah, a lot to like. I'm really, really enjoying the whole like kind of monster hunting like elements of it. I really want to see them dive into that further. I mean, that's a lot of The Witcher's bread and butter, I guess. So I'm assuming we're going to get a lot more. Mark Hamill apparently very much, from what I hear,
he wanted to play
his mentor.
Vesemir,
yeah,
and I want to see that.
Oh,
I really want to see that.
Yeah, I really want to see that as well. Let's be honest, that's a perfect role for Mark Hamill, like the wise wizardy type person, like him as the Joker and like Luke Skywalker. It's just, I feel like those two come together could be like a Witcher, like I don't know, he could be like a quirky ass wizard.
I always find Mark Hamill to be he has a surprising range.
Yeah, 100%.
He's got a really good range that when you just look at him, you wouldn't think that he's got. But I do like Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I am. If I could have anything for season 2, it would be Mark Hamill, and I would be fully content with all of season 2. Like, you wouldn't have to up it in any other way, and I would be content. But what did you think of the jumping around timeline-wise? Did you grasp that, or did that kind of throw you at first?
It took a few episodes for me to be like, oh, I see. This is what they're doing.
Yeah.
But then I think it quite nicely dovetailed everything in together.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree.
I mean, because of you couldn't just have it to be one. If you had it as a consistent timeline, it would be a bit of a mess, and you'd have Ciri being introduced right at the end nearly, and it would seem very rushed.
Yeah.
Like, you go, oh, they just chucked this character in.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah. Whereas we've been following all these 3 characters' journeys from episode 1. It just so happens that, like, Ciri's journey in particular took, a few months, if that. Geralt's journey took 10 years, and then Yennefer's journey took probably about 10 or 15 years.
I think it was like 3
or even more than
decades,
that.
man, because she says something
about... Oh, yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because she was ended up being assigned to that royal family for, 3 decades. Yeah, so, yeah.
That was the first time I really got thrown, because that's when I realised that, okay, I think we're jumping around a lot.
Yeah, like,
here.
this isn't all sequential.
Yeah, which is like 3 decades or et cetera, something along those lines. I was like, oh. So is she now in alignment with everybody else, or is she, where is she in the timeline?
Are they still off? And then it's like, and then they had the episode where Geralt goes to the castle with the queen, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, and you're like,
I see.
What?
Like, she's supposed to be dead. Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. I think criticism, is relatively fair with the jumping around. I don't disagree with, like, doing it, but I think, like, just some date stamps would have been handy at the beginning of an episode,
Yeah.
you know?
I know what you mean. I think having it as a whole sort of surprise, I don't know if that was necessary. It's not a point against it, but it's also not a point in its favour,
Yes,
I'd say.
I didn't find it, like, to be a revelation or a surprise. I only found it confusing.
I was just like, it was just like, oh, okay, they're doing this. I see.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a, wow, my God.
Yeah. Overall, though, loved it.
Yeah, very good show.
I don't know what else to say about it. I think everybody's pretty much in the same boat. I haven't heard a lot of negative about it. I know there was kind of, when it first released, the critics were kind of like harping on about it a little bit, but I think everybody kind of slapped them in the face a little bit and said, shut the fuck up, this is amazing. But I really hope that now that it's kind of, we're living in a post Game of Thrones world. Like, there's a huge fantasy void. People have been opened up to fantasy, like really cracked open to it after Game of Thrones, the TV series. And I think there's a lot of potential for The Witcher to really, like, fill that void. Because it does seem like the comparisons are happening. As much as I think it's a little bit silly, the comparisons are happening. And I think people want to kind of fill that Game of Thrones void. So I really hope, after the positive reaction after the first season, that Netflix just, like, really double down on it. And all the creators really double down on this and really invest in it. And, like, really blow out season 2. Because I know there was a lot of talk regarding Henry Cavill, like, really having to push for, like, budget and stuff, as you would. Like, I'm sure they weren't prepared to throw.
Because he played the games before he'd got the part, and he was like, oh, okay, let's play. My God, this is good. I need more of this.
Definitely.
So it's,
I mean, like, I wouldn't expect them to be pumping money into this, like, in huge, like, quantities from the get go, because it's risky. Like, it's really dark, gritty fantasy, and it's a property that it may have been too hardcore for, like, a huge audience, but it seems like it's, from the get-go, it's
somehow
huge.
Yeah,
huge.
It's caught the imagination. So I should imagine that the next season, that the producers or the people with the money purses will be more willing to give some up and go, oh yes, this is good.
Game of Thrones. Let's get on this.
Yeah.
Do you think,
let's not talk about Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Steady decline.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, let's not talk about that. Do you think we will... I really hope this is the case, but do you think we'll get is it an anime series or an anime movie? Do you think we'll get that before the next season?
I think it's a series.
Okay.
Which anime? I don't know if they released.
No, just talks. I've heard.
Okay, so it's an anime movie.
Okay.
It's made by the people who made. Oh, what did they make? Legend of Korra, the Avatar spin-off.
Yep. They need Henry to voice him if it's about him.
I'd say they do. Like, he nailed that character. Like, he was on top of that.
You can't go fucking around with consistency now. Like, it needs to be just the anime version of, and a side story of the actual series now. And you can't fuck around with voices, nothing. It needs to be tie in directly, like a direct spin-off side story.
Yeah. So there's no mention of release date. There's no mention of the casting yet. So we don't know if it's going to be Henry Cavill still or not.
Count.
There's definitely going to be a Siri in it.
I'm going to throw something at you. Mark Hamill is a voice actor.
They could introduce him as Vesemir in this.
He could have his whole backstory in this kind of movie before season 2.
Yes.
Yep.
That would be
epic.
On point.
Yep. Like maybe set like a long time before the series takes place. Him training the Witcher. Oh my God. Yes. Probably won't be that, but
I need all of that.
Mark Hamill, come on.
It's not going to happen, but I need that.
Please, it makes sense. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, loved it. So really keen for more on that.
Definitely.
Let us know what you think down below. But Count, let's move along. We should probably talk about some video games. Haven't got necessarily a whole lot to talk about. The Doom trailer, oh my god, still looks amazing. Have you seen that?
Yes. Oh, I love it. I really want that game.
Oh.
I just wish it wasn't coming out the same day as Animal Crossing, because I know I'm getting Animal Crossing.
Well, I mean, I would say just smash out Doom.
To be fair, there's a new trailer for Animal Crossing as well, and I'm just like, oh my god, I need it so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Animal Crossing is going to be like a real time hole. So, like, I would personally knock out Doom first.
Fair enough.
Having said that, though, apparently they're saying the campaign's going to be 22 hours, I think they said, which is approximately double the original, which is insane. That's insane. But think, Count, how much bigger does the heavy metal track have to be for double the campaign?
They've released some of them on YouTube.
Good.
Like some
good?
of the soundtrack. Oh, it's so good. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I've actually listened to the original 2016 one a few times on Spotify. I really enjoy it.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. So yeah,
I need that in my life.
That's right around the corner now. God, is it March? I think it's out.
March the 20th,
Yeah,
I think.
that
seems to be a very popular release date this year.
Yes, it's weird how.
Also, they've announced the re-release of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. The first ones.
That was announced during the
on
Pokemon.
Switch.
The Nintendo Direct, right?
The Pokemon Direct, when they announced the DLC for Sword and Shield as well. And I'm honestly more excited for the Mystery Dungeon re-releases because they are wonderful games. I love them so much.
Never played them. What were they originally on?
So they were basically a crossover title because they were released. One of them was on DS and one of them was on Game Boy Advance.
Yes. Okay.
And they were sort of semi-compatible with each other through because it had a dual slot, the original DS.
Dual slot.
Because it had a DS slot at the top and a Game Boy slot at the bottom. So you could plug them both in, and they'd be you'd be able to communicate them together.
A feature on all DSs?
Everything up to the DSi.
DSi. I did not know this. Wow.
Did you not know that? The original DS had a Game Boy Advance slot.
I mean, I shouldn't be surprised because it's been backwards compatible for so long.
That's how you get, because in the Pokemon main series, you were able to transfer ones from Generation 3 Game Boy games up to Gen 4, which is how you can still get them all the way up to the modern day.
I feel so stupid now because have you heard of the Game Boy DS macro mod? Where essentially the top screen is lopped off, like it's sheared off, right? And then people mod the hinges away. And they turn it into like a backlit Game Boy Advance because you can't use the DS.
Oh, I've seen someone literally just break off the top screen and do that.
Yeah, there's way sexier mods. Like you can buy reshells and stuff for it. And it's really cool because you kind of like, you just buy a shell and then you kind of just ditch one of the screens and you put it in the new shell and you've just got like a really nice backlit Game Boy Advance, essentially. So if you've got a broken DS and one of your screens is gone, then you can kind of salvage it. Like that's the whole kind of idea behind it. But it's never dropped in my head that it must have a advanced slot. Oh, I feel like such a moron. Anyway, I've just had this stupid epiphany, like, oh my god, it has an advanced slot.
Well done.
Don't blame me. Like, look, to be honest, like a lot of my Game Boy cutoff for me.
I mean, I'm definitely blaming you.
Yeah, okay, blame me.
No one else's fault.
I'm not very well read on everything past the Game Boy Advance SP. Like that was kind of my kind of cutoff in my childhood, so I've kind of stayed in that area mod wise, and kind of just what I like to play with. But yeah. Anyway. I'll probably get the first one on Advance then, because I have a very, very sexy pieces of kit on the way. I've just bought the Funny Playing IPS kit for Game Boy Advance, and you can use it in Game Boy Color. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically a replacement drop-in LCD screen, and it's fully backlit. It's got an amazing resolution. It's like 4 times the resolution, I think, of I think they roughly said the original screen, but because it's exactly 4 times, the upscaling is like 1-to-1, so it doesn't get weird like that. And yeah, I've got like battery mod coming, sound amp mod coming. So I'm putting together my dream Advance. So I might have to check out Pokemon Dungeon on my new Advance.
You will have to show me that when it's done.
Oh, absolutely.
That sounds amazing.
Definitely. I'm hoping. I've already.
Yeah, the one for Game Boy Advance was called Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team.
Red Rescue Team. Okay, and it's good.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's a good game. Right. I love it.
I like it. Very cool.
Yeah. Doom Eternal trailer, Animal Crossing trailer. I've been playing a bit of FTL this week because
nice.
I'd not played it in a while, and I was just like, FTL's a thing. I'm still shit at it.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible at it as well. Did you ever play? Oh god, it's Bastard something. It reminds me of FTL. It's like a roguelike. It's first-person shooter. Something Bastards. It's available on Xbox Game Pass. Game Pass? Yeah, it is available on Game Pass, PC. Fuck, what's it called? It is amazing, though. I think you'd love it. Because
they've added something to Game Pass for PC yesterday.
Nice.
Oh, it's a Plague Tale Innocence. It's coming to Game Pass for PC, apparently.
Okay.
So I've really wanted to check that game out, so I am going to be all over that.
Is it Void Bastards? Can you Google
Yes!
that?
I've played a bit of that. Yeah. It's wonderful.
How good is it? It's really good. It really reminds me of FTL as well.
Love it.
It's like FTL, but then they threw in some FPS elements.
Yeah,
really cool. Highly recommend if you're on Game Pass or in general, pick it up because it's worth the money, I think. I played the crap out of that game for a long time. Really good. Never finished it. Really good though.
Definitely.
Count 2077. We should quickly throw that in because that's probably the biggest piece of news we've probably had in the gaming world since we've been talking, or lack of talking in the last month.
Yes.
Delayed 5 months or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you think that the employees still aren't going to receive any crunch period, then you're probably going to be sorely disappointed. But at least they're not going to be as crunched.
Yes, that's true. I mean, I kind of half expected this was going to be the case, right? With a game of this scale.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the game and look how big and amazing it's going to be.
Yeah.
I was very surprised when they announced the release date, and I was like, really? Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's been delayed, what is it, till September now,
I was going to say September, which puts us on the doorstep of the new console. So do you think this was more of a strategy, one, to get extra polish in, and two...
A, to get extra polish, B, to get new console launch window sales.
So now they write in that same quarter.
It's now the hot app.
Yeah, so they're giving people the option to go, just get it on whatever you want. Like, it's across, like, at that point, it's on, like, 7 systems,
go, hey,
right?
The new platform's going to be coming out, so you can just, pre-order your PS5 with Cyberpunk.
Yep. So I think smart. Yeah, I think if that's the case...
It's a savvy decision, definitely.
Yeah, because it was kind of in that awkward period of being, like, 8 months away from the new consoles, and it would...
Yeah, considering the game it is, when they announced it, I was like, you're not waiting until the new consoles.
And I get that there's a huge install base, but people are kind of going to be tossing up going, I know it's going to be a lot better. It was just a weird time. So I think it's better for everybody if it can be available on the new consoles and you only have to wait like maybe a month and a half for it or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So also speaking of new consoles, PS5 really heating up rumor-wise and speculation-wise at the moment.
Probably intentionally.
Yes, I think absolutely. But hopefully we get a reveal for that soon because I'm really eager to see. Sony's been talking a lot of shit. They've been really hyping up like really groundbreaking design features, and I want to see what they're cooking up. I've seen some crazy shit floating around, like cartridges and all kinds of stuff, and I really want to know now.
Yeah, I suspect we'll find out probably in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think that's...
Or maybe the next couple of months at most.
Well,
we'll probably find out something. They'll have like what is it? Their thing, state of play or whatever.
I have a feeling
distressing buzzword.
I have a feeling mid-February, because they have a really weird offbeat. They've done offbeat shows before at weird times of year, and I think I remember the PS4 Pro reveal was a weird showing and a weird reveal, but they did it around February, March, and I think they'll probably hit that weird time of year again.
I think they're probably going to announce. They'll announce something, definitely.
To be honest, I think they're going to go full reveal. Like, Xbox has done their teaser trailer, blah blah blah. They've been really. We don't know anything more about the Xbox than we do the PlayStation. All we know is the form factor. That's it, really. We haven't got any in-depth specs. We just know what it looks like, and we had a reveal trailer.
What are the teraflops?
Exactly. So, I feel like Sony will do the usual bore us to death with a full, like... Is Mark Cerny still there?
I don't...
They'll do a full Mark Cerny style reveal, and they'll bore us to death with all the specs.
Probably.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll see what happens, I guess. So, anyway.
Yeah.
PS5 coming soon, reveal, and 2077 delayed. So, yeah. What are you going to do? Count, how much time we got?
Not a huge amount of time, because I actually want to get ready to leave.
Shall we spend just 5 minutes before we wrap it up and get our hot takes for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker?
Right. Oof. It's not as bad as everyone thinks it is, but it's also not that good.
Yeah.
Like, it is fine.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a bit of a mess overall. Like, you can tell that quite a few things have been cut from it. There's a lot of fan service.
Yeah.
Like, it is basically fan service the movie. That that started grating after a while.
Yeah.
Any emotional sacrifices are undone within about, at most, half an hour.
Yeah.
That kind of annoyed me. But overall, it was a visual spectacle, and it was a moderately satisfying ending.
Yep.
Like, I didn't leave the cinema disappointed.
Okay.
But I also didn't leave the cinema going, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah. I agree, I think, with all of that. If anything, I'll walk it backwards. I left the cinema probably more perplexed and a little bit like... It took me a long time to unpack it. I knew there was a lot wrong and a lot to nitpick. I just wasn't sure what it was yet.
Yeah, you just sort of like, something is slightly off with this, but you can't quite put your finger on it until you had a while to digest it.
Exactly. And I'm going to keep this purely spoiler-free, and I'm going to say one thing because it's in all of the trailers. If you've gone trailer dark and you still for some reason haven't seen this movie, stop listening now. Okay, 3...
I mean, it's been a month.
Yeah,
so.
3, 2, 1. The whole Palpatine thing. Kind of not okay with it, but kind of still enjoyed it at the same time. Because it's cool to see him come back and do his thing. And it was really cool that they really dived deeply into the whole Sith and where they were and what was going on. But, yeah, not really that keen for him coming back, to be honest. But... whatever. That's another.
I didn't mind it. I think it worked.
It worked,
but the problem is there's been the bits have been released that have stuff that's been cut.
Yeah, it's just the fan service.
Actually explaining how he came back.
Yeah.
Whereas in this instance, they just did. He's back. He's alive. Just deal with it.
Piece it together yourself. He's a powerful Sith. He can do shit.
I feel like if they'd have taken a bit more time to explain some things and cut out some of the fan servicey bits, it would have been fine.
100%. Look, I think I've been pitching this kind of thought since the movie came out, essentially. And it's basically boils down to this. It's not this movie's fault that it's not great. You know, because look at the first two movies and how they kind of clash with each other. And this movie's kind of had to wrap up two movies that are at odds with each other. And it basically
it's taken a couple of characters that were really sort of like pretty focal in a couple of them, and then just gone, nah, fuck you.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you can tell this movie should have been a 4-hour movie or a 2-part like double feature movie. And it's not this movie's fault. Like, JJ did an amazing damn job to pull together what he did in the time constraints that he had. And I think this movie's a good movie, considering what it had to do.
I feel like if they release it on Blu-ray as a director's cut, with a lot of the stuff that they deleted, it would end up being a more coherent movie and a slightly better movie. But I want to just talk about one. I'm gonna a spoiler warning again. I'm gonna talk about one particular thing that slightly annoys me. Here's your warning. Right. They should have killed Chewie.
Oh.
I know that sounds harsh. I didn't want him to die. But nah. To just have that really like horrible emotional bit as she's tearing herself up inside, and then you just then the audience just like 2 minutes later, oh no, he's fine. There were 2 ships. Are you having a fucking joke?
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, utter bullshit. Also, the bit with C-3PO, you're like, oh no, all this emotional thing. I'm gonna lose my memories. Just taking a last look at my friends. You know, R2's databanks are notoriously unreliable. And then they get back to base and he just gets his fucking memories back. Fuck you.
You see, that could have been a perfect ending for everything that came before, right? Because all your legacy characters are dead, right? There's no boots on the ground as far as your legacy characters. Everything is just kind of story now. If you wipe out C-3PO's memory, them whole like kind of just taking one last my friend, like all my memories are gone. That's it. Your records of the legacy characters are now gone, right? I think they could have left it all there, like with his memory being wiped out, and that could have been a signature moment for it's all in the past now. You know, everything's gone.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. And the Chewie
bring
thing,
it back.
The Chewie thing, you know what? You fucking killed everybody else, just killed Chewie. But no, they did the whole the whole fake out death thing. And yeah, I agree with that. You know what? Like, I'm sad.
It was a bit cheap.
I'm sad of seeing Chewie, so sad about every loving character he's lost, like Han, Leia, Luke, everybody. Yeah. This poor fuck has got no one now. You know? He's got Lando. You know? I'm sure
who the fuck cares about Lando?
I'm not sure he's that content with Lando. And okay, count. We're going to wrap it up in a real sec. I just want to touch on one thing that just kind of really starting to peeve me off now. We could nitpick this movie to death. So I'm just going to throw in this one last little point, which just kind of makes me laugh, you know? Apparently one of the cut things from this movie is that like Lando, you know, he has that moment with the girl that, Poe and
because it was that girl turns out to be his daughter because his daughter got kidnapped. Do you know that was in like a visual dictionary of the film? That's how that information got out.
Okay, I'm like okay, like I don't give a fuck that it was cut and it's alluded to. What I give a fuck about is that how many important legacy characters and important characters have estranged children and family connections that are unknown. Like, stop losing your children. You know what I mean?
Yeah, none of these people can hold down a family, can they?
Like, Lando's lost his daughter. Luke's estranged with his real parents. Darth Vader and Anakin has no fucking clue who his fucking father is. All these people have, like, estranged, like... Oh, and then you've got Rey. Like, there's so many important characters that don't know what their heritage or lineage is, and it's like this big reveal. Like, guys, let's stop this. Let's stop having, like, mysterious, like, lineage.
Keep a track of your children, for fuck's sake.
I know, like, in a galaxy far, far away, the parents are terrible. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Parenting is bad.
There's no such thing as the NSPCC or whatever regional equivalent for you.
They need the Parenting 101 guide, because everybody's losing children all over the galaxy. I'll expand it further. In Han Solo, A Solo Story, even Chewie's lost his family, right? Like, he doesn't know where his family is. But anyway, we're done. Let's wrap this up.
But he does know where his family is because of the Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh my god. Actually, sorry, before we wrap it up, can I...
Spends time with his family and his horrific child.
Yeah. Oh...
No, can we stop?
Okay.
Because we're gonna go about this forever otherwise.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna say one more positive thing, and then I promise we're done. But 30 seconds. So
okay.
Kathleen Kennedy, she's had her run. The saga's done. Apparently, from what I've heard, I believe this is gospel now. John Favreau, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Favreau, sorry. The guy behind The Mandalorian. Him and David Fillion. the guy behind the Clone Wars animated series, they've been handed complete creative control of the series going forward. And these two guys, I could not think of two better guys to put Star Wars in the hands of.
Jon Favreau in particular
Yes.
is an amazing director. I love Jon Favreau.
The guy behind the original Iron Man. Need I say more?
Exactly.
So yes, I positivity going forward. I'd love to see what these two guys can do together with full creative control. So it's good to see kind of Kathleen Kennedy kind of handing it over to these guys, which are clearly very passionate people, creators.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's wrap it up, Count. So we're back. Thanks for listening. Hopefully we didn't bore you too much. We might be back next week if Count can bring something together with Mark or Sarah. If not, it'll be the week after. But yeah, thanks for listening. Be sure to please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Blah blah blah. Hit the bell, all that jazz. Check out our Discord, and we will see you, or I'll see you in a couple of weeks after Bali, and I'm sure I'll have some stories to tell from that. But until next time, guys, have a good one.
Bye.
Okay.